Below the Gaza Strip, there seems to be another city that evades the eye. A network of 1,300 tunnels stretching around 500 kilometers. Though they are generally up to 30 meters deep, the tunnels could at times go as deep as 70 meters. Some parts of the tunnel are reinforced by concrete to withstand Israeli bombing and also have electricity. These tunnels are now the biggest threat to the Israeli Defense Forces, or the IDF, as it awaits for a nod to conduct what could be the most massive ground offensive in Gaza after the October 7 Hamas attacks. Experts believe that some of the over 200 Israeli hostages in Hamas captivity could be in the tunnels. This theory has been given more strength by the account of the elderly hostage released by Hamas recently. She narrated how, after being abducted and reaching Gaza, she walked several kilometers to a network of tunnels that she described as looking like a spider web. Armed with this information, experts believe that a combination of dense urban terrain and subterranean tunnel networks will make the Israeli military's task in Gaza very tough and dangerous. Many tunnels have been created under the border between Egypt and Gaza to deliver all sorts of merchandise: fuel, clothes, food, weapons, and even livestock. To get around the Israeli blockade since 2007, from cows to cars, the underground system found a way of getting almost anything through the border and grew to include hundreds of passageways. And in fact, it made rich men out of those who ran them. To control the building of these tunnels, Israel even tried to stop delivery of cement and steel, the building material, fearing that Gaza's militant Hamas rulers would use construction material to fortify its positions and build tunnels to aid attacks on the Jewish state. Israel banned their transfer in 2007. But Israel caved into the international pressure and authorities decided to ease the blockade. In fact, these tunnels along Egypt's border with Gaza provided thousands of jobs to the poor in Gaza who were most impacted by the blockade. In a tunnel dug deep underneath the besieged Gaza Strip, masked gunmen from Islamic Jihad ferried rockets and mortars back and forth, preparing for the next conflict with Israel. And these tunnels, referred to as the Gaza Metro, are a source of civilian catastrophe on both sides of the Gaza border. If they are used by Hamas terrorists to infiltrate into Israel and kill and kidnap civilians, the tunnels also predispose people of Gaza to Israeli attacks. As experts explain, these tunnels are a major threat to people on both sides of the Gaza border. They open up in schools, mosques, and even homes. Some experts believe that Hamas appeared to have honed its tunnel building expertise by studying Syrian rebels in Aleppo and the Islamic State fighters in Iraq's Mosul. The tunnels were being constructed for decades, but the work got a boost after Israel withdrew its troops and settlers from Gaza in 2005. The tunneling work became elaborate after Hamas ousted rival Fatah from Gaza in the 2006 election. Some of the tunnels are reinforced with concrete, and they are typically equipped with electricity and even ventilation shafts. Some of the tunnel networks also have basic means of transportation for weapons and excavated soil. Up to 50,000 Palestinians are employed in the construction of these tunnels and in the smuggling business, according to a report which was published in 2013 by The Guardian. It was only during a military operation in 2014 that the Israeli forces discovered the extent of these Hamas tunnels. In 2021, Israeli forces destroyed about 100 kilometers of tunnels in an 11-day offensive. Hamas said just 5% of its tunnel network was damaged. Just imagine. Realizing the futility of their attempts to curb the tunnel building, in 2021, Israel announced the completion of a barrier along the Gaza border equipped with underground sensors, radars, and cameras to curb threats after 3.5 years of construction. Each Hamas tunnel costs about $3 million to build and has been constructed with the diversion of Israeli building material supplied for civilian construction in Gaza. This is according to the Israeli Defense Forces, or the IDF website. If Israel goes inside Gaza with a ground attack, the tunnels will give the Hamas terrorists the benefit of ducking Israeli fire and allow them to move undetected beneath the feet of Israeli soldiers, only to emerge from behind and surprise them. This amid intense door-to-door fighting and Hamas sniper fire. It will be a three-dimensional fight, as some experts predict. Hamas would have by now stocked up the tunnels with food, water, and essential items. This, apart from the weapon stockpiles it already has in place. These tunnels will help Hamas fighters avoid exhaustion in the war of attrition. For attacks, experts say the tunnels will allow Hamas to conduct protected and surprise attacks from behind IDF positions. Its fighters will form small hunter-killer teams that move underground, pop up, strike, and pop quickly back into the tunnel. Hamas also uses the tunnels to hide and move rockets. Entering these maze of tunnels will pose a major challenge for Israeli soldiers. Troops will need special equipment depending on the depth and width of the tunnels. Even satellite-based communication and navigation tools might become ineffective. But the Israeli military has specialized units and munitions to deal with the tunnels. There are specialized units like the IDF Combat Engineering Corps, an elite commando unit which specializes in finding, clearing, and destroying tunnels. The specialized IDF units have customized weapons for subterranean battles. The Israeli military also has its own canine unit, with dogs trained for operating in tunnels. Israeli forces specializing in tunnel warfare are training intensively for the Gaza invasion, and the training is being held in facilities built to imitate Hamas tunnels. This is all according to certain news reports. Israel has been using bunker buster munitions, but now has pressed into service the Iron Sting laser and precision guided mortar. This is according to the Jerusalem Post. The Iron Sting has a range of 1 to 12 kilometers and can penetrate double reinforced concrete, the like which Hamas uses to secure its tunnels. But it's all very complex. Imagine, these tunnels were even used to smuggle in hyenas, foxes, monkeys, deer, and even lions into the zoo in Gaza after the 2007 blockade, all drugged and smuggled in sacks through the underground tunnels into Gaza from Egypt. If there are tunnels through which a lion was smuggled in, just think what hell could the Hamas terrorists unleash with the use of these tunnels. Do tell us what you think about this video in the comments section. And for more news updates, subscribe to India Today.